Hi Kickstarter, David Hunter here. It's a Saturday, I've got some free time, so I want to sit down with you and tell you a little bit more about the comic book and what is in it. So, last year's Kickstarter campaign was really about creating the zombie-based learning curriculum, and it was successful. We put out this massive book of lesson plans that a teacher can use for an entire year to teach zombie-based learning, geography. It has everything they need. I'm a teacher, so I really wanted to make it. I was sick of finding lessons or curricula that just you really needed to do a lot more work for before it was ready. I included all the readings, all the handouts, all the pre-assessments, post-assessments, all of the project rubrics, everything that a teacher would need to teach geography set in the zombie apocalypse. It's got over 10 projects and over 75 daily lessons. It's massive. I've been hearing from middle school teachers, high school teachers, homeschool teachers that are really into this and been getting great feedback on it. I've been hearing from professional geographers that use it when they volunteer in school, saying that kids are getting really engaged with it and they're really excited about it. And I've been hearing from university professors that it's some of the best curricula stuff that they've seen on geography. So I'm really excited about that, really proud of it, and I could not have done it without Kickstarter. I had a good time doing it as well. It was a lot of work, but it was a great time. One of the other things that we put out with that is Dead Reckon. Originally, I was going to create the zombie-based learning curriculum with a narrative story with a few illustrations that would kind of set up why students are doing the project, how they fit into the zombie apocalypse. So we got backed with a lot more money than I was originally looking for, and most of that money went to printing illustrating the comic book, illustrating and coloring the comic book, and printing the rewards. I did pretty much the curriculum for free because I don't have to pay myself to do it, and put most of the money toward the comic book. So this comic book, I was really excited to make a graphic novel. I'm a big graphic novel fan. I think there's a lot of students that are really into them. It's a great way to engage students. They can get a lot of visual information, they can get text information. I think it's a great way to transfer information to students and get them engaged. So Dead Reckon is really to hook students, to get them interested in this story. It starts with a zombie apocalypse story. It starts from the beginning when the outbreak is starting to happen. Our main character is a student who is kind of tracking all of these attacks and everything, figuring out if it's an actual zombie outbreak by mapping the information of the outbreaks and kind of analyzing how it's spreading and figuring out where it's going to go next, when it's going to reach them, when the zombie outbreak is going to reach where they live. And it's really about mapping, analyzing spatial relationships, and then creating regions. Those are the big concepts that come into this first issue of Dead Reckon. So it's got the story. When students reach the end of the story, this is 31 pages comic book, but then there's like another 30 pages of the book, 25 pages of the book, where it introduces students. They have notes on the concepts. The concepts are all set up where characters actually use them, but then it's all kind of explained, and there's projects listed that students can do when they finish reading the comic. So in this version of the comic, in the first issue, there's 4 projects that they can do: preparing for the zombie outbreak, listing the materials they would need, mapping the outbreak, creating regions, and then warning the regions, which is a writing activity. So the main big projects are mapping the outbreak and creating regions, and there's all the information to support them there. So the tools that geographers use, how they create maps, different elements of high-quality maps and cartography, and what regions are, different types of regions. And there's even rubrics in here so students can self-assess their project, see how they did, see if they would survive, see how strong of a survivor they are for the zombie apocalypse. So this is really about hooking the students. It can be used in the zombie-based learning curriculum in a classroom using it, but also I want these comics to be used where a student just picks up a comic book to read the comic book and then gets interested in geography and how it's used. The story is really driving the student engagement, but what's going on in it should hopefully interest students to want to do their own projects. So I'm hoping we can put out these comics where students can just pick them up on their own, read them outside of class, and learn real geographic skills and concepts that real geographers use, and practice those and apply them even outside of school. So I'm really excited about this. The second issue is a little bit longer, so that's why there's a little bit more money going to the illustrators and the colorist. And this second story is dealing with mental mapping and kind of economic systems, where they're trying to get around the neighborhood after the outbreak and find all the resources that they need. It gets really exciting. There's a lot more characters that come in, and altogether there are five parts that will become a separate comic book, and it introduces all of the geographic concepts that students are expected to learn by high school. And really it's more geography than I think most of us ever learned in school. So I'm really excited about it. A lot of professional geographers are excited about it, and I'm hoping that students are getting really excited about these comic books. I've been hearing great feedback. So back to the project. Share the video with anybody that's interested in comic books, zombies, education, geography, anybody that thinks that education might be a little bit more fun if we have some cool projects and some interesting narratives that go with it. So thank you very much for everyone that has already supported. I will be updating with lots more information about what's going on. We're a staff pick now, so we're getting some momentum there, and thank you very much, and hopefully we'll get these comic books out there. Thank you.